Okay, so here we are again with yet another home project that you can do with all your friends at your own house. And this is another fountain, similar to the last one that we did, but a little more unique. And it's a little less expensive, I think. So here's what we do. First thing is, you notice that that's concrete. What you see right there is a concrete leaf. And that was pretty cool to make, and here's how we did that part. So, simply put, you take a big leaf. This is a leaf off a zucchini, or a squash or something. And how you do that in concrete is, you pile up a big pile of sand, right, on your workbench, put the leaf on it like this, over the sand, so it makes like kind of a bowl, and then you mix up some concrete, and just pat it on there, right, in the outline of the leaf, and then go in the house and wait. And in our case, what we did was, you can see we cast a maybe a 3-inch piece of copper tubing, just stuck it right down through the leaf into the sand, and then cast the concrete right around the tube. So the next day, when you come out, you have this big thing of concrete. You flip it over like this, and you peel the leaf right off. Now, in our case, the leaf was a little stubborn, it wouldn't come off, so we used some, I don't know what that stuff was. It was like concrete driveway cleaner. Yeah, etching stuff. So, a little bit of steel wool with that etching stuff, and the leaf comes right off. And what you're left with is all the little veins and everything are in there. It looks just like a real leaf, only it's made out of concrete, that's awesome. So, then what you do is you can actually buy like a $6 can of concrete stain, which it's like an aerosol. So we sprayed it on there, and then put some sealer on it, and put some silicone around that tube, right? So now you have your concrete leaf. So the next step is the fountain part. Now this fountain consists of 2 parts. One part is ingeniously hidden. You have this bowl at the top, which has a total of 5 holes in the bottom of it. A large diameter center hole, and then several smaller holes that we drilled around that. That sits on top of another pot that we buried in the ground. Just dug a hole, buried this pot, and that has no holes in the bottom, because that serves as the reservoir for the water. So, you take your pump, which is, in this case, just a very small, what is that, 75 gallons per hour electric pump, and we stuck it down in the hole and ran 3/4-inch tubing up through into this pot and filled it with river rock, so that the river rock is surrounding and supporting the 3/4-inch flexible tubing. And then that copper sticks out the bottom of our leaf by maybe 1.5 or 2 inches. We put a circle clamp on there, and what happens is the pump drives the water up through the copper you see sticking out of the leaf, makes a pleasing, bubbling sound. It overflows the leaf, goes back down through the rocks, drops into the reservoir where it's recycled and pumped through again. So it's a relatively small scale fountain, but it's one that you can fit pretty much anywhere, and we'll turn it on and I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. So you can see the leaf fills up with water, and it flows over the side, down through the rocks, into the bottom reservoir, where the pump throws it back, to the top again. Which I thought that was pretty cool. So, the leaf, I don't even know that you can buy those. It's unique, and, you make it yourself. That didn't cost hardly anything, a $4 bag of concrete. The rocks, we used 2 bags to fill this pot, and they were, I don't know, $4 a piece, something like that. The pot, I didn't pick out. I wisely took my wife to Lowe's, and she picked it out so that it couldn't get vetoed. And I think it turned out pretty well. So that's the second of 2 fountains that we have, and apparently it's going to be the last one that we have. She says if we put any more, it'll look like a miniature golf course. Anyway, that's what this fountain looks like, and I'll show you the electrical outlets. We had to run one over here because I wanted it to be switched, because the only drawback to doing it this way, the way that we did it, is you can't get to the pump, unless you take the fountain apart. So we put a switched outlet out here. We ran that off the power in the shed, just so you can see what that looks like. I'll show you. So if we go in here, you can see that we had a gang box here, we put another gang box here, and then we put a switch here before we ran the wire outside to that GFI. So that is that's the way that the pump gets turned on and off. So it worked out pretty slick, and that's it's a great project. It's one of those that kind of started out where, hey, I wonder if we could make this work, and it turns out that it did work. So hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, let me know, and good luck.